Welcome in this special edition of On Texas Football. My name is Gerry Hamilton, joined as always by CJ Vogel. Special guest today, Texas four-star edge commitment, Smith Orogbo with the Hook'em Horns. Smith,
Sure.
thanks for joining CJ and I.
Yes, sir. No problem.
So go ahead, CJ.
I just want to say, I mean, the newest member of the Texas 2024 class, or 2025 class, excuse me. That decision came down only a few days ago, Smith. What was, kind of those emotions initially of making it official and committing to the University of Texas?
Like, it was stressful, excited, and hectic at the same time. But like, I narrowed down which ones was the best for me, and that's why I chose Texas.
So kind of get into that, Smith. What made Texas the choice in your mind?
Probably the culture they have set for Texas, like the winning program, like the nutrition, and I can really see like the development and how they're going to develop me as a better edge rusher. That's what I really liked about it.
You mentioned that in your visit, kind of Zena hosted you, and you mentioned how you'd gone from 235 to 260 in a pretty short amount of time. What did he tell you about that, the nutrition program, Torrey Becton, and maybe those conversations with Texas you had? What impressed you?
Like as you said, like how you gained 30 pounds in a short amount of time, that's what probably really impressed me the most. So me seeing I could be able to gain like 20 pounds in like a couple of months, that really excited me.
I want to go back a little bit, kind of where did this athleticism come from? Were your parents big-time ball players? When did you also start to realize, football, I'm pretty good at this sport. I might have a future in it.
Probably because when I first came into high school, I wanted to play basketball, but I see my big brother play football. So I was trying to follow my big brother. That's why I really decided to play football.
What is it you love about football?
Probably simple, like to hit somebody. That's probably what I like the most about it.
How much on the? We're going to play your huddle clips in a few minutes coming up here. Tell people what you weigh starting your junior season and what you weigh now, so people can kind of see your progression that you're making heading into your senior year.
Starting my junior season, I weighed like 204. Now I'm weighing like 220 right now.
Okay. And at college, have they taken your wingspan, hand size on the visits and everything?
Oh, yes, sir. My wingspan is like 81 inches, and my hand size probably it's like 9 inches.
So, and go ahead.
I was gonna switch. Stay on it, Gerry. Keep going.
Now, okay. So then you're young for your class too. So tell people how old you are and when's your birthday, because when I was at Hastings, that was pretty interesting to me how young you are in your class.
Yeah, my birthday is May 11, 2007. So I'm still growing. I'm a youngin.
So you'll be in college before you turn 18.
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a rarity. All right, CJ, go ahead.
I was going to say, I know a lot of folks just heard 2007 and threw their hands up in the air. That's extremely young. But Smith, I'm going to go back a little bit more to your basketball background, right? You mentioned that was kind of the sport that you liked coming into high school. What kind of hooper are you? Where do you get the footwork from? And, what's your strength on the hardwood?
I mean, I was a pretty good hooper, but I was on the B team, so I wasn't good. But I was just there to get rebounds, get blocks. That's why I really started recognizing I was very athletic, because when I jumped up to get the blocks, I jumped up really high.
So academics, very, very important in your family.
Yes, sir, of course.
Tell the Texas fans what you plan to major in and kind of where do you want to take that long term.
I plan on majoring in business and becoming a future real estate agent in commercial and residential.
Okay. I wanted to ask you because, it felt like on the official visits this month, we heard a lot about the Texas staff and kind of the personnel department kind of catering some of the further interest with recruits, what they wanted to study or what they wanted to pursue long term. Was there anything specifically that you saw on your official visit that maybe intrigued you a little bit about not only football at Texas, but life beyond what it was, at the University of Texas?
So what intrigued me was how they was able to tutor their players, and they had a whole meeting place where it's like a tutorials. That's probably what intrigued me the most, because most schools don't have that. That showed me they're really big on helping their athletes get their education.
And also on your official visit, it was just you, right? You're the only one to make the trip from your family for that official visit. Know that there are some questions amongst Texas fans of whether or not, should we read into, your parents not attending as well? What's going on here? What was
Oh
that
yeah.
like? Taking that visit by yourself for the weekend.
I mean, it was pretty good. I had a little freedom, but my parents couldn't come because we're working on their schedule.
So
Those are all good
how important was that for your parents that you stay close to home at the end of the
I
day?
mean, it's pretty important because I'm still their baby, so they don't want me to go anywhere far like that for real. So
And before we're about to turn on your huddle, and we're going to get you to kind of talk about who you played against, some of that, but talk about the Texas staff. Jeff Banks, I think, was your area recruiter. Obviously, PK, D coordinator, edge coach. Kenny Baker, I think, was involved in your recruitment. Kind of talk about those guys, starting with Coach Banks and really those relationships.
Coach Bates, like he's a really down cool guy. He's very funny. Like sometimes we crack little jokes here and there. So like yeah, he's a great guy. With Coach PK, like it's the same time. Like it's easy to talk. He's easy to talk to. We talk more about football, how he runs the defense, and with Coach Baker, man, we talk about hand placement, like hand alignment, more about football stuff too.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's that time, Smith. We're going to play your huddle. We're going to take a look at what makes you one of the top 100 prospects in the country in our eyes. So that first and second step quickness, man. I mean, obviously, what did college coaches tell you they liked about you when they started recruiting you?
Like when you see this particular clip, they said about how my get off, like my change direction, my arm length, and like my the way I chase the ball. That's what they really like about those things.
That first step
got that guy on his heels immediately, by the way. Go ahead, CJ.
I was saying that first step stands out immediately, right?
Yes,
that play right there, I'll go back to it because this is probably my favorite clip of yours on the tape. You get to the backfield so quickly and obviously lay the wood down, force a fumble.
Yes, sir.
What is it that you practice on specifically that allows you to have such a quick first step and get to the quarterback as quickly as you can?
Yeah, because like we train stuff like this with my D-line coach. His name is Coach Haskers. We change about like how we got squeezed down, change the direction, stuff. That's what we train for, stuff like that in that recent play.
You talked about Kenny Baker. Y'all get into the technical side. A lot of times coaches will kind of break down your video, show you what you do well, how they can help you. Did Coach Baker do that with you?
Oh yeah, Coach PK, he told me that. Like, he told me some mistakes I made, a little bit, some things I needed to change. Like
what are some areas that you think you can improve based on what college coaches have told you?
Probably being a little bit more aggressive. Like the way I use my hips, like the way I really good, a little bit more good hand placement, and probably like trying to stay tight with the tackle.
What's coming up this year for y'all? I think realignment was this past off season. You're looking ahead a little bit for the district. How excited are you, going into your senior season that y'all are going to put together a good, squad on the field this year?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited because we got new schedules and we got a new head coach. So I'm pretty excited for those two things.
And you play next to another Power 4 or 5, Power 4 now, I guess was where we're at in college football, defensive lineman Ike Okafor. And you guys are obviously close. You can see Big Ike there on some of these videos. So talk about playing with another Division I player on the defensive line. Y'all line up next to each other. How tough is it going to be to contain both of you guys in games this year?
It's like picking a poison because like he makes my job way more easier. That's why I like playing with Ike.
So tell people a little bit about Ike because he's on the video too. He's committed to Cal. How big is Ike?
He's like 6'3", bro. Like he says he's like 260, but I don't believe he's like 270. Like that 280 range a little bit.
So what's your goal? Is it 250, 260? Do you kind of have a goal in mind for what you want to weigh one day as you make your way into college football at the big time level, SEC level?
Yeah, because I know we enter the SEC, so I'm planning on weighing around 250, 260, so I can hold up the big guys.
What's your ultimate goal in football, Smith?
Probably by God's grace, entering the league, being an NFL veteran. That's probably one of my biggest goals.
have you kind of compartmentalized, what you'll look like at 260 pounds down the road? Is that something that you've kind of come to terms with so far?
Yes, sir. Because I sometimes be looking at my arms, I just wonder like how would I look like when I'm 250? So
Yeah,
I kind of recognize that.
Did Zena tell you you'll probably look a little bit like me?
Man, nah.
No.
It'd be crazy if you said that, man.
What other players on the visit did you kind of talk to? And obviously, Zena was your host. Any of the other players you spent time with, kind of talk to them about Texas?
Yeah, I talked with Lance and another tackle. His name is Nick. I talked with those two guys the most.
Nick Brooks. Nick
Yes,
Brooks. I heard Nick Brooks can sing a little bit.
I mean, yeah, because we had some karaoke. Yeah, he can sing.
A little country music guy from Iowa, isn't he? Okay.
Yeah.
Not little. He's like 6'7", 360. They got
He's
the
a big
photo.
dude.
Yeah, he's 6'8".
I got another one for you. Those official visits, they kind of roll out the red carpet. They make everything as shiny and as glamorous as possible. What did you leave Austin with as your, kind of most memorable experience in Austin for those 2 days?
What was memorable was like we was walking inside the facility and they had all the Lamborghinis, all the cars. That's probably what's memorable. I think I got a pick.
When you had your discussion with Sarkisian before you left the official visit, what did he kind of tell you? What was his message to you? And then talk me through how you committed and when that went down and who you called.
Oh, so when I was at the visit, his message to me was like he wanted me. He liked what I produce on the field, and he said he can develop me. And like when I made that call to commit, I first called Coach Banks, and he was excited. He was like in Vegas with the vacation.
He was so excited he went to Vegas. Yeah.
Yeah. After that, I called Coach Banks. He just came back from when they announced they was going to the SEC.
Yeah.
I think he came home from there, and after that, I told him he was excited.
So he came down to Texas and Oklahoma at the end of the day. Was that just the two schools closest to home that you liked the most? Did the SEC factor in? Kind of what brought it down to those two schools?
Probably what brought down to those two schools for Oklahoma. I love the Oklahoma coaching staff, Coach Venables. At the same time, I had the same feeling for Texas too. So what really made me go to Texas probably, like I see myself being able to play more in the Texas defensive scheme, and probably is a little bit close to home, because that's probably what my players would be more comfortable with me going to Texas. That's probably one of the main factors why I picked Texas.
Yeah. Who in this class have you kind of bonded with? You mentioned Lance Jackson earlier. Y'all are both going to be edge guys at the next level. Have you gotten to, kind of get in communication with a couple of the guys already committed in the class?
Yes, sir. Yeah. With Lance Jackson and Zena and guys like those.
Yeah.
Recruiting friends I made in the recruiting process, probably guys like Chase Sims out of Randall.
Yeah. So talk about Lance. Lance is a pretty big dude, man. When you saw him, you're like, man, dude, you're in high school? What's up?
That's what I'm saying. Like, you should have seen his dad. His dad way taller.
He played basketball at A&M. That's right. Yeah. Okay. So I guess my last thing for you, Smith, is, senior year you have in front of you. You're graduating in December, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what are your goals then senior year? I mean, you had 73, for the Texas fans that don't know, 73 tackles, 17 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, a couple of forced fumbles as a junior. What are your goals senior year? And then what are your goals for your freshman year in college?
Probably my goals for my senior year is probably try to get 100 tackles, 10 sacks. That's probably one of my two biggest goals. And get like a interception, probably take it to the crib. That's probably my biggest one. And my goals for freshman year in Texas, probably try to make a good first impression, try to be a hard worker, be a sponge, try to soak everything in. That's what probably my goals are.
Good deal. Good goals right there. I'll say that. Anytime you can walk in as a college freshman, just try and take in everything. It's your own race, of course. And so, I got to say this, Smith. Once again, congratulations on committing.
Thank you so much.
That's a very big decision. And, I know Texas fans everywhere are very excited to have you in the class.
Yes, I'm excited too.
All right, Smith, thanks for joining us today, and hook 'em, man.
Yes, sir.